9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ready? Wow. Okay. So it's the 17th, come and went. And yes, real estate has changed forever. And everyone is talking about it or not, right? They're worried. I must say, agents are worried. What do I do? How do I help a buyer? If it hasn't created anything but a sense of, I don't know. When am I crossing the line? I guess, I don't know. We just, if when in doubt, you sign a document. Always now, it seems. So guess what, buyers? Yes, real estate has changed. The landscape has changed. Things are different. Now, everyone has the right to negotiate real estate concessions, compensation, commissions. What is it? It depends on how it's credited to the buyer's agent and who pays it. And so guess what? Now we need to hire that buyer's agent. You need to choose your agent, the agent you believe should be working for you. So on a positive note, I think that's fantastic. You are now choosing your agent specific to your needs rather than just calling the listing agent because, well, the listing agent will get me a better deal. Not a truth. Not a truth. What is a truth is finding a great agent who represents you and you alone. And I can tell you, hiring a buyer's agent is one of the best things a buyer can ever do, or a seller can ever do, right? Because sellers, guess what? Yes, you can still pay a buyer's agent's compensation, concessions, commissions, right? You can still pay them. And that's a truth. You can be competitive and offer compensation to a buyer's agent to help those young families get moved right in. So I guess this is what really needs to be understood. And I really love what the National Association of Realtors has put together. If you haven't been to our website lately, we have a fantastic website that has all the great information for you. You can find it through links at National Association of Realtors to realtor.com, right? But here's the deal. There is, if you didn't know, according to the National Association of Realtors, 179 ways agents who are realtors are worth every penny of their compensation. Are worth every penny of their compensation. 179 ways. I couldn't even believe it. I did an appointment last night with a seller, and we did go over all 179 ways. We are a fantastic hire for her. And we discussed what we would do with buyers and buyers agents, right? And yes, that seller opted to pay buyer agent concessions because she wants a young family who just might not have enough money to be able to buy her property, which I loved. I loved the generosity in what she wanted to do. So here it is, 105 more ways realtors are worth every penny of their compensation. And what does a buyer's agent really do for a buyer? Well, first and foremost, the number one thing they do is prepare the buyer for executing a buyer representation agreement. Now, what is that? That is truly the document you need to be signing. It's either going to be exclusive or not exclusive, or it's going to be a showing tours document as well. You can have 3 different documents, but in the end, you got to sign a buyer representation agreement that's going to say you're either exclusively being represented or non-exclusively being represented. And it's going to show that you, Mr. Buyer, are paying some money. And will that money be due at the end is what you and your buyer's agent put in that agreement. You really need to understand, number one, hire an agent who has the heart of a teacher, and hire an agent who's going to take the time to explain every step of this, right? So that's the first thing. You're going to prepare a buyer for executing a buyer representation. Number two, we're going to explain agency relationship to the buyer and get state required legal consent to represent if needed. It is needed right here in California. Then number three, we're going to inform the buyer of the working relationship based on the state law. We need to tell you, are we a buyer's agent, seller's agent? Who are we working for? And the realtor's code of ethics and the broker's business policy. Because each brokerage will have a different business policy. Number four, we need to know your wants, Mr. Buyer and Seller. We need to know your non-negotiables. We need to know exactly what you need to have in that house. Then number five, we must understand your budget. What will be needed financially? We need to know the numbers. Do we need to know the details, your account number, blah, blah? No. We need to know what is a comfortable monthly payment. We need to know your lender who you chose to work with. We need to know what your down payment is. We need to know your FICO score. We need to have those details because we have to provide that information to the seller. We even have to tell the seller if you have the ability to pay real estate concessions or not. We need to know. So you need to go over the numbers. That means pick an agent that you trust and you feel comfortable with. 6, we need to help you understand Mr. Buyer or Mr. Buyer or Mrs. Buyer or buyer, understand what the property they've chosen budget will buy, right? You could have the desire to buy a very expensive property and, well, your budget doesn't allow for it. We help you work through that. Number 7, consider having the buyer fill out a home buyer's checklist. We do that here at Real Estate Resolved. We do have that conversation with you, and we go through all of the details of what you're looking for. Number 8, we assist the buyer in examining how much they can truly afford to spend. Look, a lender's going to say, great, you're qualified for $1 million, which is primarily what you need here in California. And in all reality, you can only spend $600,000 because that's what you're most comfortable with. We help you go over those numbers so you stay in the budget that makes sense for you. Do not overbuy. Do not overspend. It's not worth it. Have a life too, right? Let's see. What do we got? Number 9, provide quality lender resources. We have some great lender partners that we love working with that will connect you to. No, we don't get any kickbacks. No, we don't get any money from that. All we do is say, this is a great lender partner we've been in business with, and we love helping you succeed. We know they'll hit the timelines and they're going to be in a budget that makes best sense for you because we've had that conversation. Provide quality lender resources. Number 9. Number 10, partner with a buyer to locate suitable properties for consideration. We're going to help you figure out what neighborhood makes best sense for you on your budget, your commute, your walkability, your needs and desires. We're going to help you do that. Number 12, constantly reevaluate buyers' needs and refocus property showings to fit those needs. I love when a buyer tells me, okay, I would love to see properties on Sunday and it's Monday and they're asking me on Tuesday, what's my schedule? Let me tell you, your schedule's going to change. You want to know why? Houses sell. So we're continuously revamping and revamping and revamping. So know that you're going to get your schedule, at least with us, about 24 hours in advance. And we're going to show you the latest, most accurate properties that meet your criteria, because we're going to take the time to sit down and do that buyer's consultation. Number 11, we're going to match the buyer's needs with available properties. Number 12, constantly reevaluate buyer's needs and refocus property showings to fit those needs. After going out a couple of times, you may be like, you know what, this is not working. I really need to go back and look at my budget again. I need to figure out what is best. We help you walk through that process. Number 13, after ensuring the buyer understands what is done for them and how it is done, and benefit them to obtain signatures on a buyer's representation agreement. Got to have that agreement signed. Number 14, we explain how compensation is paid, who pays it, and what the buyer's options are for paying it if you end up paying for it, and you just might end up having to pay for it. Number 15, educating the buyer. We communicate the working relationship based on the state laws and the Realtor's Code of Ethics and our business brokers' business policies. We're going to make sure we're keeping you educated and in compliance from state mandates. Number 16, we're going to explain the federal and state fair housing laws. Number 17, oh my gosh, what is that? Well, that is why you want to hire us. Number 17, explain what to look for in an applicable property disclosure. On average, property disclosures from a seller are about 31 to 37 here in the state of California, maybe sometimes 40, depending on the brokerage that's selling it, because they add additional disclosures. Number 18, reassure the buyer that their personal information will remain confidential. As in account numbers, please black out your account numbers. Your contact information stays within our brokerage. Number 20, in accordance with state law, provide information on checking the sex offender registry and crime statistics for the neighborhood. We're going to encourage you and direct you to websites that can provide that information and validate that information with the legal authorities. Number 19, going back to 19, we're going to inform the buyer that you will always disclose all known material defects. And 21, discuss available resources that the buyer can check to learn more about prospective neighborhoods. We're going to help you find the neighborhoods where you're like, Google can do that. Yes, and we can tell you what is a reliable website and what isn't. I mean, come on. We all know there's scammers out there and websites out there that just give inaccurate information. Number 22, explain the timeline for house hunting, mortgage approval, and closing from start to finish. How long does it take? Number 23, explain the local market and how it impacts the buyer. If you go to episode, what episode did we do the other day, Nolan? 167. If you go to episode 167, I've went over all the local stats of what's going on here in our foothills communities. And we're not just like, hey, this is the houses that are available to you. We also understand what the market is doing. So go check out episode 177. We released it last week. Fantastic episode talking about the current local stats here, hyperlocal to Laverne, San Dimas, and LA County, Inland Empire, San Bernardino County, all that information. Item number 24, show statistics on what percentage of list price sellers in the area are currently receiving. Are properties selling at 101% or 97% of list price? Does your agent know that? If they don't, hire a better agent. They should know that and be able to explain that to you. Inform, item 25, inform the buyer on what home features are popular. Yeah, you can Google it too, and we can help you with the most relevant information in what we're seeing in properties. 26, identify current average days on market. That is so important. 27, share the dangers of using the price per square foot to figure out home values. Oh, when people want to do that, oh my gosh, there are so many reasons why that doesn't help. 28, explain the concept of absorption rate and how it impacts the buying process. If you only understood absorption rate, Google it and then have your agent explain it to you. 29, indicate current listings, months of market inventory. And 30, share estimated potential out-of-pocket costs to complete the transaction. And 31, assist the buyer in analyzing the loan estimates. 32, qualify the buyer for financial ability to purchase their home. 33, help the buyer account for the complete costs of homeownership. There's so many more costs than just paying real estate concessions or compensation or commissions, right? And what do we have? 35, assist in comparing different financing options. 34, I jumped over it, and whew, this one is a good one. Prepare the lender for listing agent calls. The lender is also going to talk to the listing agent, and if they aren't, then you should hire a better lender because they can help make your home purchase happen. 36, help the buyer select for viewing only those homes that fit their needs. You ask for no two-story homes. You're only going to see single-story homes, right? How many times has your agent said, oh, I'm taking you out to look at this two-story home? And you're like, I didn't want a two-story home. I can't do a two-story home. That doesn't happen. You have a great agent when you hire a great agent. 37, proceed in showing homes that fit the buyer's must-haves. 38, caution the buyer on posting information to social media. Yeah, we never post the address or anything above and beyond where your home is unless you say, go ahead, do it. We don't. We want to keep you with our buyers. We want to keep you safe in your new home. 39, review the sample sales contracts so the buyer is prepared when it comes time to make an offer. You should really review a contract before you go ahead and sign your first DocuSign. You're all, I can't even do a DocuSign. Moving on to showing properties. 40, schedule showings and provide access to all listed properties as soon as they become available in the local MLS broker marketplace. Oh, yes, we do that. Number 41, educate the buyer of the immediacy of new listings appearing in the local MLS broker marketplaces and the lag time for them to appear on some other websites. Did you know? You heard it here if you didn't. It takes up to 18 hours for things to go from MLS to Zillow. So when you see it on the MLS, you saw it there first because it takes up to 18 hours to hit Zillow. For some reason, I love that it goes right on Realtor.com. We knock it out. Us realtors are just amazing. I got to tell you, I've been doing it for 20 years. 42, we collaborate with the buyers on properties they may have learned about their sphere of contacts. 43, we research and assist on all unlisted properties the buyers wish to see. 44, we preview properties prior to showing if needed. Yes, we do. We go out and check them out. We make sure they're a good fit because sometimes they go just like that. We network with other agents to source properties not yet in the local MLS broker marketplaces. We contact 46. We contact homeowners in focus areas to see if they are considering selling. 47, we set up automated email alert systems through our local MLS to immediately notify you of properties that meet your criteria. 48, we arrange a tour of areas of schools and key points of interest. 49, we provide resources containing neighborhood information on municipal services and schools. Item 50, inform the buyer of negative aspects like nearby venues or operations that may result in issues that could impact value. One time I had a client, they canceled their purchase because there was a building down the way that had a major leak in the ground into the drinking water, and they weren't comfortable with moving forward on the purchase. Your agent helps you figure those things out. 51, collect and share any other vital information on available homes, remembering to follow all the fair housing laws at all times. 52, check applicable zoning and building restrictions. 53, help the buyer decipher public property and tax information. 54, collect and share pertinent data on values, taxes, utility costs, etc. And 55, compare each property shown to the buyer's wants and needs list and remind them of what they're looking for. After you look at 6 houses, you could go, oh my gosh, I don't know. All of them put together might make the perfect home, and we have to help you bring it together. 56, we help the buyer narrow the search until you identify your top offers. And that, my friends, is only half the list. Stay tuned for the second part of this episode.